Hello and welcome, or welcome back. If you're new here, which some of you are, my name is Reb, and I am doing a little quick flip through of my 100-day challenge sketchbook. If you haven't seen the other videos, I'll just do a really quick run through. This is a sketchbook that I found in my storage unit. I decided to dedicate it strictly to the 100-day challenge. I've been drawing 100 things out of my cabinet of curiosities, and this is day 31 through 40. So let's take a quick look inside. All right, so day 31 was this little piece of glass. It was a piece of glass that I found on a paddling trip with a friend. We paddled to this, I don't want to say island. It's not quite an island. I guess it's more of like a temporary sandbar. But it was full of all kinds of glass and just weird stuff. But anyways, pick that up there. I was going to leave it because it wasn't very sea glass like, hadn't been sanded down by the ocean. But I ended up just taking it with me because it was really cool. It has an R right here and right here. So I thought maybe someday, if I ever learned how to do it, I could make like a jewelry piece out of it. Next up is this shell. This is a shell that I bought somewhere, I think in Florida. It was just basically a pretty shell, but I really liked the iridescent quality that it had on the inside. So I decided to draw that side of it, and I think it came out pretty cool. Next up is this little tiny bottle. It is a Bayer aspirin bottle. Really nothing fancy. The only kind of funny thing about it is that I literally found it in the dirt outside. We dug a big hole to make a burn pit, and this just happened to be in that dirt. So after that is this, I guess, prehistoric fossilized tooth. I don't know much about it, as in what type of dinosaur it is, but I do know that it is prehistoric. After that is this little fire agate. I kind of struggled with this one a little bit because the details were kind of so subtle, and the rock itself was smooth, so I was having a hard time getting the kind of interior details without getting all of the shine, but I've managed to find the angle that let me see a little bit of both, and I think I did pretty well. I also, for this one, used for the first time a colorless oil pastel, which really kind of is a little bit of a game changer because it lets you blend the colors and do kind of a lighter, I don't want to say wash, but a lighter application of the color without dulling it the way white does. So that was actually super helpful and very much came in handy for this particular one. After that was this crawfish claw, I guess. I've heard it called different things depending on where you're from: crayfish, crawfish, crawdad. Either way, a southern delicacy for some, not for me. But I did really love the variety of colors that it had and the pattern. It was much more striking than I would have ever guessed had I just seen one from far away, but looking at it really up close really blew my mind. So I thought that one came out really good, and it was really fun to draw. Next up is this one here. I'm probably going to butcher the name of this, but I think I don't know how to say it. Vanadite? Something like that. I will put the name here somewhere. Anyways, it's just a little piece of crystal that I had, and I thought I was going to have a lot of trouble with this one because there were so many tiny crystals, and everything had facets and everything, but I ended up really, I feel like I captured it pretty well, considering that I was working with, essentially a adult crayon. But yeah, I was able to kind of, I think, get some of the texture and facets and things like that, without, I feel like, spending too much time on it or being too precise. So, really happy with how this one came out, and my son really loved checking that one out. Not his favorite, though. His favorite definitely has been the shark tooth. All right, next up is this piece of turquoise. This was another one of those where I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out because it was kind of a smooth, polished rock, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get the pattern and texture that I was looking for. But what I discovered was that if I used a little knife to scrape away some of the color, that it really gave it the effect that I was looking for, and I think that this one turned out amazing. Next up is this little, very small woven basket. Actually, I think I have it right here. It's ridiculously little, but very detailed, and actually, like, I think put together the way a traditional basket would be put together, which is wild at the scale. I think it's made out of horsehair, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of looked it up and got some mixed results, but most of the ones that I saw said that this is most likely made with horsetail or horsehair. Anyways, very cool little basket, and in case you were wondering, it does actually open, which I thought was pretty cool. What that is made for, I have no idea. Why would anybody need to make such a small basket? Other than maybe for a dollhouse? I don't know. And then the last one is this piece of labradorite. And last one is this piece of labradorite. I think I'm saying that right. I've never actually heard anybody say it out loud now that I think about it. But anyways, it's one of my favorite stones, and I don't I don't even know what to say about this one. I think that it turned out amazing, like surprisingly good. One, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get the vibrancy of the stone. I didn't think that I was going to be able to capture the depth that it has, and I just think it turned out amazing, considering the kind of limited colors that it has. And yeah, my only regret is not centering it better on this page, but such a tiny regret considering everything else. I think it just turned out amazing. So yeah, so those are the drawings 31 through 40 of the 100-day challenge. I've got a lot more cool stuff in my cabinet of curiosities, so I hope that you guys will consider subscribing to my channel so that you can see the rest of the drawings. This has really truly become kind of a ritual or a habit for me, and a really kind of enjoyable part of my morning. So I hope that you guys are having fun coming along as much as I am drawing these things. Before I close out this video, let me shamelessly plug that I have a Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is where I sell stickers, prints, and other things that I've made. I'll be putting up some original artwork soon, and if you would like, I can do commissions. So if any of that interests you, please go check out my Ko-fi page. I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support and your subs, and I will catch you guys on the next video.